आइल्स राइटिंग के हवाले से सेकंड पार्ट आज है हमारा, और मलिक शुजात साहब के साथ ये हमारा चौथा सेशन है। तो इस हवाले से मलिक साहब का इंट्रोडक्शन पहले भी काफ़ी हो गया है माशाल्लाह। तो ये एमबीए भी है इनका, ये इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर भी हैं, फील्ड में भी काफ़ी अर्सा रहे हैं, फिर इसके बाद आइल्स एक्सपर्ट भी हैं, प्रेपरेशन भी करवाते हैं, और फिर इनका ओए लेवल ट्यूटर भी हैं, एजुकेटर भी हैं, ऑनलाइन इंटरनेशनल जो है वो पढ़ाते हैं डिफरेंट कंट्रीज़ में, यूरोप में और एशिया में, मिडल ईस्ट में। और इसके अलावा इनका जो है वो बिजनेस में भी, यानी इकोनॉमिक्स और बिजनेस के सब्जेक्ट भी, और वो लेवल मैथ स्पेशली ये उनको पढ़ाते हैं। मलिक साहब बहुत शुक्रिया आपका, अगेन आप आए सेशन पे, कंटिन्यूस स्ट्रगल है हमारी, तो एक सीरीज चल रही है।
थैंक यू
तो आइल्स का हमारा दूसरा पार्ट है आज। ऐसे हमने डबल ऐसे तो देख लिया था, डबल वो क्या था, और अब सिंगल का या आगे हमने आज के सेशन में जरा काइंडली
अभी तब हम अपने पिछले वाला जो हमारा सेशन था, हम आइल्स राइटिंग पे चले गए थे। उससे पहले वाले जरूर हमने व्यूअर्स को हम कहेंगे कि जी आइल्स लिसनिंग और आइल्स स्पीकिंग पे हमने बड़े डिटेल से सेशन किया, बिकॉज आइल्स राइटिंग इज समथिंग विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। लास्ट टाइम हमने एक सेशन कर लिया था 2 स्टेटमेंट ऐसे के ऊपर, तो आज हम इसी सेशन राइटिंग को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल there are something very important, especially for the people who are new joining us and who don't have an idea of the what is IELTS writing task 2. So basically it is a short essay for an educated reader, for example a university lecturer or tutor. In the essay you have to give your opinion and write a clear argument or discussion. You must support your idea with relevant evidence and example, and this is something very very important. Whenever you will see the IELTS writing task 2, he will always say you must support your ideas with relevant evidence and examples. And here I want to tell to my audience that especially when some essay comes and then this is a big hurdle, how to create an example. They actually started to think what has happened in real life. So here I want to tell you all that it is not necessary that something actually has happened. For that you have to give an example. Then the question is very clearly written that you must support your ideas with relevant evidence and example, and even you can quote the example experience from your daily life, so you can create example from yourself. I've seen a lot of people, they're not understanding the question, they don't really quote the examples and don't give the examples, and then they really are penalized as far as the bands are concerned. So you must keep this thing in mind that you have to give the relevant examples. So now the question is that what sort of writing should be? It's always a formal and should be academic style. And now the most important thing is there in this essay is very clearly written that it should be of at least 250 words. So you can go more than 250, but at least 250. And if you're writing less than 250, then you will be penalized. And they suggest you to spend 40 minutes. They actually give you 1 hour and they say question number 1 is a letter. I'm talking about for all those candidates who will be appearing in the IELTS general or who are appearing in the IELTS academic. Instead of essay, they will be appearing and they'll get something related to some graphs and they have to explain that. So that is their question number 1 and question number 2 for both general and academic. Question number 2 will be the essay. So my suggestion to all of those will be to spend 20 minutes on the task 1 and 40 minutes on the task 2. Now I will try to break out with you these 40 minutes when you start writing the essay. Then these 40 minutes that will just run away. So I just want to get to the whiteboard to explain that how you should be spending that time. So let me get to the whiteboard. Let me take you to there now on the whiteboard. So Habib Sam, we are moving on to the whiteboard. So let me switch to that whiteboard. Bisa, will you guide us how we have to go to the whiteboard side? Can you guide us a little bit?
Just click the settings below and settings के अंदर नीचे अगर आप देखें कैमरा होगा, कैमरे के अंदर ये ऑप्शन होगा आपका, ये कैमरा, एक मिनट, वो मेरे ज़हन से भी मेरे ख्याल निकल गया अमल साहब।
Okay, if we cannot move there, then I think let me explain it orally if you're not getting that point. But anyway, okay, we're talking about the IELTS writing task 2. There are different stages. We are talking about actually the breakage of the time. The time there is 40 minutes. So for the first, actually you can
एक दफा ट्राई करें, आप कैमरा में सेटिंग्स में जाकर ट्राई करें, क्योंकि एक अच्छा हो जाएगा अगर ऑडियंस वो देख लेना। कैमरा में सेटिंग आपके ऑप्शन आ रहा होगा मोबाइल में, मेरे ख्याल में, मेरा तो इधर वो लैपटॉप है ना, आप चेक करें सर। कैमरा का ऑप्शन होगा, जनरल्स में जाएं या सेटिंग्स में, जनरल या वैसे कैमरा में जो भी
Let me
ऑप्शन।
see it. Let me see it. Let me see that.
So here we are discussing about IELTS. This is our fourth session with Engineer Malik Khan. IELTS writing score part 2. We already covered speaking, listening, and then writing part 1, and today is writing part 2. And then shortly we will have a reading last part of IELTS reading. So in this way you can get clarity about how to get good grades in IELTS. So Malik Sahab is just joining again. As he will join, so we will start again. Malik Sahab is just again joining. Let's wait for him. Just wait for the guest. Guest is just joining again. So today we are covering single sentence essay. Two sentence, single sentence. एक part हमने essay का we already covered, and this is second part. So I think so Malik Sahab has joined any other session. So let me ask him to join this one. जी मल साहब कंटिन्यू करें आप, ठीक है, नजर आ रहा है बिल्कुल जी।
Okay, ji, finally we are back with the camera as well. So we explaining you that what is all about the task 2, about the IELTS writing task 2. So first of all, I want to talk about something about the time plan. This is something very important. We have seen most of the candidates running out of time, and once you ran out of time, then there's a lot of problem, because that is the point where the panic starts, and then you will destroy your all essay. So it's very, very important to all our listeners to keep this thing in mind, because we will actually divide our writing task 2 into different stages. They are actually 4 stages. So let me take you first of all to the stage number 1. Now stage number 1, that is very important. You have to read and understand the question. So this is stage number 1, where you have to read and understand the question. for reading and understanding the question, because if you will not read the question properly, you will not understand what the examiner is demanding, and if you will not fulfill those demands, then definitely you will be penalized. I just want to quote one example, that some people believe that zoos should exist while others believe that zoos should not exist. Discuss both these opinion and give your own opinion. Here in this question is asking you to first discuss the two opinions. Zoos should exist, second opinion, zoos should not exist, then give your own opinion, then what is my opinion, before then finally you will move to the conclusion. So all these are the things you have to just plan in this stage number one. And stage number one, how many minutes? Because time is going to be very, very crucial. Here you have to give 3 to 5 minutes. In 3 to 5 minutes, you will be all about planning. In this 3 to 5 minutes, you will see, okay, what the question is asking. You will write down, this is my paragraph one, this is two, three, four, five. This is example, I will quoting paragraph number two and three, and maybe one example in paragraph number four, and this will be conclusion. So all you have to do is give 3 to 5 minutes. Though it looks like somebody believed, some people believe that's a wastage of time, but let me tell you, these 3 to 5 minutes investing in this stage number one, they will really pay you back, and then your everything will be aligned, you'll be doing it properly. Then stage number one, after stage number one, let me take you to the stage number two. Now what is going to be your stage number two? In stage number two, you have to plan what you are going to write. This is again, this is all about planning, because it's always said good plan is half job done. Stage number one, that is reading and understanding the question. Once you have read the question, you understand the question, you make your mind. Second, now it's time to plan that what you are going to write. For planning, we will give 3 to 5 minutes. So number one was your stage one was about reading, understanding the question, 3 to 5 minutes. Then stage number two is all about your planning, and planning means again you have to give 3 to 5 minutes. So people be thinking almost our 10 minutes are over and we have not written anything, and you're wasting almost 10 minutes. It's not a wise decision. But no, let me tell you, you have not written anything, but you have make your mind. Now we are moving on to stage number three. This is about stage number three is writing your essay. Stage number three is all about writing your essay. Here we go. You have to write your essay. Now, this is a main activity of our essay, that you are writing your essay. For this, I will recommend you to spend 25 minutes. Especially for this thing, for stage number three, where you have to write your essay, you have to spend 25 minutes. Then we are moving on to stage number four. Now, stage number four, here you have to check your writing. So don't forget to finally check your writing. Here you will be able to just rectify or some of your spelling mistakes, maybe some tense mistake as well. So it's very important to check your writing. So for writing, you have to, again, for checking, we will spend another 5 minutes. So 5 minutes for another 5 minutes for stage number four. So these are the four stages. Now stage number one, you have to read and understand the question, 3 to 5 minutes. Then plan number two. Then we're going to have the stage number two. We have to spend another 3 to 5 minutes on your planning. Then we're moving on to stage number three, where you have to plan your essay, and we're spending another 25 minutes. Here you are writing your essay. And last stage number four is checking your writing, and then we're spending the 5 minutes. So if you conclude all these minutes, that will take you almost to your 40 minutes. For 5 minutes, stage number one, reading, understanding the question. Next 5 minutes for the planning, as well take 10 minutes. Then writing is making your 35, and last 5 minutes for checking your essay. So altogether, it will make it 40 minutes. So it is very, very important that you have to plan your essay like this. And I think if you plan like this, you're writing task number two, especially, so I believe that things will become a lot easy. And now, before I move to the last part, let me explain you to the step one, that is very, very important. In this step, we will give you an overview of the process. When talking about the step number one, this is step number one, reading, understanding the question. So in this step one, what you need to do is overview of the process of what you should write. You have to understand the question, because if you're not understanding the question, then it's sure that you're going to make a lot of mistakes in your coming part. Let me take you out of this now board activity, and let's talk about, yeah, I think now you can see it. So if you can plan your essay in this way, in this in this four stages, I think then you are bound. You will not run out of time. You will be able to write whatever you want to write. In our separate video, we'll talk about the different types of essays. We have already discussed the double statement essays, that what happened in double statement essay. So in our separate video, discussing about other types of essay. But for time being now, it was all about the time planning, that how you have to plan, how you have to understand the question, and how quickly you understand, and you came to know that what type of essay it is, what its requirement, how you have to fulfill its requirement. So it's going to be very, very important if you follow this time plan. I always remember that for readings, always remember, first read, then plan, then write, and finally in your fourth stage, that's about checking. So read means to understand the question. You must invest 3 to 5 minutes. There's no harm investing 3 to 5 minutes reading or planning. Those 5 minutes are very crucial. You have to plan well, and then comes the time for executing those plans, where you have to write your essay, and that will almost demanding for next 25 minutes. And finally the checking, and hope so you will be able to rectify some very serious mistakes if you just go through it and check it. And I hope so investing those last 5 minutes, that will also be very, very beneficial. So in this way you can sum up your writing task 2, and I hope so, especially this time plan for writing task 2, that will be turn out to be very beneficial for you, very effective. Don't forget that you have to write at least 250. I always suggest go for more than 250 words, but if you write down less than 250 words, then there's always going to be a problem. So it's very, very important that read the question properly, because if you're not reading the question properly, then there's always going to be a problem for you. So that is it. We always suggest one more thing, that write for 40 minutes on task 2, and make sure that it should be more than 250 words. It should not be less than 250 words. And always make sure that your writing style, it should be a formal style, and it should be academic environment. So don't try to write down even semi formal. So essay is always going to be a formal, and you have to be very, very careful as far as your writing task is concerned. So remember, you don't have to agree with the opinion expressed in the question. You might disagree with that. You may come up with something different with your own opinion, but you have to justify those things with the relevant example. And again, example, you don't have to quote it from somewhere exactly that this is written there. You can just come up, you can create an example from your own side, you can just create it, you can make it, and you can just get through. So these are some things, they are very, very important. You have to keep in mind, and once you keep this in mind when you're doing the writing task 2, so hopefully your things will become pretty easy for you.
अच्छा मलिक साहब, इसमें एक चीज क्वेश्चन पूछा इन्होंने, एक्सप्लेन आर्गुमेंटेटिव ऐसे और एंड हाउ टू राइट इट। अब और इसके बाद इन्होंने पूछा एक्सप्लेन द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ आर्गुमेंटेटिव ओपिनियन बेस्ड ऐसे। अब इसमें मैं थोड़ा सा आप बता दूं, मैं थोड़ा सा मैं अगर आप कमेंट करें या पहले मैं इसके बारे में कर दूं, तो फिर आप इनसाइट देना चाहें।
जैसे ये तो आप कमेंट कर दें पहले
जी। इसके अंदर ये है कि मतलब डिबेट, यानी इसको कहते हैं कि एविडेंस बेस्ड हो इसमें आर्गुमेंट के अंदर ना, ये जो ये बता रहे हैं। उसके बाद डिबेटेबल होना चाहिए, टॉपिक ऐसा चूज करें जिसमें डिबेट हो। और उसके बाद फिर जो है ना क्या नाम है, इसके अंदर कुछ स्ट्रक्चर, थीसिस स्टेटमेंट, डेफिनेटली स्ट्रक्चर अपने ऐसे को जिसमें बॉडी पैराग्राफ हर चीज होगी, लेकिन इसके अंदर ट्रांजिशनल फेसेस यूज करें। मिसाल तौर पे हाउएवर, इन एडिशन, ऑन द अदर हैंड, इस तरह के, फर्दर मोर, इस तरह की ट्रांजिशनल फेसेस यूज करें।
मेरा ख्याल है इसके ऊपर ना, ये जो आप बात कर रहे हैं ना, हमारी कनेक्टर्स पे पिछले सेशन में भी डिटेल से बात हो चुकी है। और दूसरा आर्गुमेंटेटिव ऐसे जिसकी ये बात कर रहे हैं, दैट इज अगेन अ प्रॉपर ऐसे, जो हमारे ऐसे टाइप्स के हैं। आई थिंक अगेन वी हैव नीड अ प्रॉपर ऐसे, हमें प्रॉपर इसके ऊपर ना वो चाहिए होगा कि हम प्रॉपर एक सेशन रखें। आगे मैं जरूर इसके ऊपर ना एक कोशिश करूंगा कि हम प्रॉपर एक सेशन रखें, जहाँ पे आर्गुमेंट आपने एक बिल्ड करना होता है। कि आपने किस तरह आर्गुमेंटेड एसे लिखना होता है। पहले तो आपको मैं थोड़ा-सा मुख्तसर करके बता दूँ कि आर्गुमेबल टॉपिक आपने जिस जिस तरफ आप जा रहे हैं, जहाँ आपका इंटरेस्ट है, वो सिलेक्ट करना है। देन यू हैव टू टेक अ पोज़ीशन इन योर टॉपिक एंड देन फॉर्म अ थीसिस ऑफ द थीसिस स्टेटमेंट ना। पहले आपने एक ओपिनियन लेना होता है, एक पोज़ीशन लेनी होती है उस टॉपिक के ऊपर। देन प्रेजेंट क्लियर एंड कन्विंसिंग एविडेंस आपके पास होना चाहिए, फिर आप अपना ऐसे को आगे बढ़ाएँ। लेकिन आपने आज हमने जिस तरह टाइम प्लानिंग उसके ऊपर रखा है, हमने वो डबल स्टेटमेंट ऐसे डिस्कस किया था। आर्गुमेंटेटिव ऐसे इज़ अ वेरी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ऐसे की पूरी टाइप है, तो हम प्रॉपर इंशाल्लाह एक सेशन इसके ऊपर अरेंज करेंगे, जहाँ पे हम इसकी सारी निटी-ग्रिटीज़ को एक डिटेल से डिस्कस करेंगे।
चलिए मलिक साहब बहुत शुक्रिया इंशाल्लाह हाँ, ये एक सेशन एक इस पे अलग से रख लेंगे।
हाँ,
डिटेल
आर्गुमेंटेटिव ऐसे में इंशाल्लाह हम एक पूरा एक सेशन एक हम इसके ऊपर प्लान करेंगे और
बिल्कुल।
होपफुली इन द कमिंग डेज़, कमिंग वीक तो फिर हम इसके ऊपर मज़ीद डिस्कस करेंगे।
ठीक है मलिक साहब इंशाल्लाह लेट्स एंड दिस सेशन। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दिस टाइम।
थैंक यू वेरी मच जी।
इंशाल्लाह
ओके, ओके, अल्लाह